Slap that look right off my face, but I'm still grinning. And the money ain't run out yet, so I do believe I'm winning. For all the mess I was am and will be continuing, and the fun is only beginning. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Hello and welcome to Don't Bury the Lead. We recap WWE Smackdown every Saturday night. My name's John Zendel. I'm joined by Dom Scarcella. Dom, why don't you go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself?
John, what an entrance by you there.
I know, I came...
Was anything that's spectacular on our show today that we're recapping. Without further ado, don't bury the lead. John, what's our top story from SmackDown from Friday, November 7th, 2025?
Dom, we don't ever bury the lead. And the lead is the main event of the show. Cody Rhodes versus Aleister Black. This match goes about 10 minutes or so. Good wrestling to start with. And then it's a big schmozz. We have Damian Priest in the ring. We have a bunch of other people in the ring. Drew McIntyre, that is, rather. So then it gets all thrown out. There's lots of brawling, and there's no winner. Dom, what you think of this main event and no finish between Aleister Black and Cody Rhodes?
It was a little weird from the start because, like, what has Aleister Black done to earn a shot at the WWE Universal Champion? But okay, we'll go with it. So I was not totally surprised that it just became a mess at the end, and that this was a match that existed just to get us to whatever was happening after it. The match itself, not bad. I mean, I've said before that while I'm not high on Aleister Black's Karrion Kross knockoff gimmick, I don't take that out on Aleister Black as a wrestler. I think he's rather a unique wrestler in the ring with his martial arts, his style. He doesn't look like everybody else. He doesn't move like everybody else. And I thought he gave a good showing of himself here against Cody Rhodes. Some neat stuff. He kick to the side of the head, German suplex into the jackknife cover, got a 2 count out of it. Early on, Cody went for that slide when he does the uppercut, and Aleister Black, lurched out of the way of the uppercut, grabbed the arm, turned it quickly into an arm bar. So some neat stuff that I haven't seen other people do in a Cody Rhodes match with some of Cody's movesets. So I like that Aleister Black got this chance. I mean, obviously he wasn't going to win the title. But I like that he got the chance. I like that he got to show what he can do. When you strip away some of the weirdness of the gimmick, I like Aleister Black as a wrestler. Of course, I like Cody Rhodes as a wrestler. And if any of you thought that we were done with either of these angles in these feuds, guess again. Drew McIntyre apparently still wants a shot at Cody Rhodes, although Nick Aldis does suspend him at the end of the show as it's going off the air. And Damian Priest apparently still wants a piece of Aleister Black. So things continue.
Yeah. Kind of a theme here for this SmackDown, as it seems like just sort of like a storyline main event, not really about the wrestling. Although I liked the beginning of it. I do have to say, Cody Rhodes, I actually really like all of his matches.
Right.
I really appreciate in the beginning, like the back and forth in the beginning, hitting each other with the same move. Like he hits him with like a toss, then he hits him with a toss. It was just like kind of like a hip toss. And then they did that again. I forget what the move is specifically, but it was like bang, 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 bang. And I'm like, I haven't really seen that happen in a Cody Rhodes match. So he doesn't do the moves of doom. It's not too predictable, right? He wrestles kind of a simple style, but there's always a lot of variation to the simple style that Cody wrestles. And Yeah, I just really appreciate him as a worker. And I think Aleister Black really, held his own as well. I know we were picking on him a little bit, calling him Timu Karrion Kross, but he is Timu Karrion Kross, but that doesn't mean that he can't go in the ring, and he certainly could in the main event tonight. Of course, with the finish, always with the schmaz, right? Always. But
Drew McIntyre runs in from the crowd side and Claymore's the ref. So apparently this was the ref during the Saturday night's main event match. So now it's that Drew McIntyre has a problem with the referees. Not Cody, but with the referees. We'll have to see what happens with that since Drew has been suspended. Not sure if that's just to make sure that this goes past Survivor Series. So Cody's doing something else for Survivor Series or not. But yeah, Drew McIntyre, he shows up in sweatpants and a t-shirt, beats the crap out of the ref while both of the wrestlers are down. Cody Rhodes eventually runs over to save the ref. And then Aleister Black comes to, and they're double teaming Cody Rhodes. That brings Damian Priest out. And now it's the two guys kind of pairing off. It's Cody getting the better of Drew. Damian Priest running off Aleister Black and Zelina, who escape through the crowd as heels often do. Run to the safety of the people who hate you.
Yeah. Right. They hate you. Better run through them.
Take shelter in all of your enemies who you've been insulting.
Right.
But, this is to get us to Drew McIntyre now has a beef with almost everybody in the WWE. Officials, Cody Rhodes, Corporate Cody, as he calls him, has a beef with Nick Aldis, I'm sure now. So everybody's against Drew McIntyre. At least that's how Drew makes it sound.
I love him calling him Corporate Cody. I know I've mentioned this before. There is some truth to that, right?
Yes.
He is Cena-esque with the way he speaks about the WWE and how they're family and all that stuff. And, he is Corporate Cody.
Yep. Well, that's kind of the corporate belt. Roman Reigns was, going on. He was on CNBC. He was on ESPN doing First Take. Sometimes, most of the time with Paul Heyman. So that's kind of like the corporate belt, isn't it?
Yeah. Dom, I got to be transparent with you. I don't have much more to talk about. There wasn't much to even really discuss here.
No, I don't.
I think, I think that's the lead. And, we had plenty of other stuff on the show to discuss here.
Sure.
And, I don't necessarily think that this was the match of the night, but probably the most meaningful of the night. We have Julia versus Chelsea Green, and for the U.S. title. And Chelsea Green wins the title in a strange match, in a strange manner. But I love Chelsea Green, so I think Chelsea Green's a big don't bury the. We're big Chelsea Green people. So yes. Chelsea Green wins the U.S. title back by putting her feet up on the ropes and getting like a goofy cheap pin roll up on Julia. What'd you think of this? I'm going to call it a goofy match. What'd you think about this goofy title victory over Julia?
It is a goofy match. It goes less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was. I said, why did it? Like 30 seconds, roughly. I don't know.
Now, this is supposed to be heel versus heel, so I was interested, and this is something you told me about. Is there's the babyface corner and the heel corner. And it's determined based on where the hard camera is. Julia and Kiana James were in the babyface corner. Chelsea Green and ringside with her, Alba Fire, were in the heel corner. And sure enough, even though Julia and Kiana are the baby faces, so to speak, in this match by positioning, Kiana gets involved in the match, causing Alba Fire to run around the ring and super kick Kiana James. And I wrote here in my notes, great flop by Kiana on the floor.
Yeah.
What a great floor bump by Kiana James taking the super kick there. It was like it was Sami Zayn-esque.
It looks like very natural. It didn't look like she was going with it. It looked like she got knocked silly and hit the floor. I totally agree.
Cody did that in his match too. So there are some people who Sami Zayn-esque bumps. So Kiana James, great with that. That got Julia's attention. So Julia drop kicks Alba Fire through the ropes. But as she's trying to get back into the ring, that's when Chelsea Green rolls her up from behind. The referee completely misses Chelsea Green, putting both feet on the middle rope for extra leverage. Chelsea Green wins the U.S. women's title a mere 2 weeks after we were bemoaning right here on Don't Bury the Lead how weak the SmackDown women's division is, and that Chelsea Green is probably the best wrestler, and she's stuck doing comedy vignettes backstage.
Yeah.
They're watching us, John. They're watching us.
It is crazy sometimes when we're like saying things and then they pivot to what to our recommendation. Because a lot of people oftentimes used to complain that the WWE wasn't listening to the fans and they were just kind of doing whatever. But they're like, we'll say something and then they do it. I'm like, well, you can't complain. This is right. What you wanted, right? No, but I like
it. I'm glad. And it's not a knock on Julie. It's just that it doesn't look like WWE Creative knew what to do. It doesn't look like they know what to do with anyone other than Chelsea Green. And if that's the case, lucky for you, Chelsea Green is one of the top performers in the company. So yes, have another run with the title belt for Chelsea Green.
You know, I think that this was the right decision. I do have to say it would have been cool to see a little bit more wrestling involved here for a title change, especially because they've just given it to Julia, and she's just kind of had it, you know.
And she's supposed to be a great wrestler.
Yeah,
show it to us.
And considering, you know, a lot of this show is taking up with like a lot of talking segments, and then also like in between, like, I guess, you know, not vignettes, but backstage segments. I'm like, could we have not cut some of that crap out and let them go like 10 minutes. Let them go for 10 minutes and do that finish. I don't know.
There were 5 matches, so you were figuring one of them had to be a squash.
Yeah.
And so naturally they decided to make a title change as the squash.
They couldn't have, you know, when
like Talatonga had to go 10 minutes with a guy half his size.
Who was essentially squashed anyway. A face losing to a heel, but in the, you know, this heel group that has only ever wins by cheating. He loses clean.
Yes.
Like that's a squash, right?
That was Talatonga versus Ray Phoenix. Match went like 9 minutes. Talatonga does win it with Solo Sikoa at ringside with him. But yeah, I don't know if you want to go there next, just because it was a good segue there. But the Motor City Machine Guns and Shinsuke Nakamura came out to attack the competitors from the MFT. So JC Mateo, Tamatanga, and Tongaloa got jumped from behind on the entrance ramp. They all fight to the back. So interesting that the Solo Sikoa's My Family Tree, they're getting lots of enemies, and it's not just the Wyatt Six. It's other guys as well. The Motor City Machine Guns, Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn, we know, is lurking whenever he's medically cleared. So there's a lot of people who have been on drawn the ire of Solo Sikoa and his group, and vice versa. So that's why this became basically a one-on-one match, although Solo was still there. But this, I mean, we like Ray Phoenix. He's got good ability, but I mean, this match was just Talatonga toying with him. Throwing him around the ring, beating him up. The crowd was dead almost all night.
Yeah, they really were.
And like, this match wasn't going to bring him out of it. It's not like Ray Phoenix was allowed to put up much of a fight. Although he had a couple of, he got one little flurry of offense, culminating with a top turnbuckle crossbody for a 2 count. But other than that, it's just, you know, the only other time they woke up was when Talatonga hit this huge lariat on Ray Phoenix that sent him completely head over heels for the bump. And you could hear the crowd go, ooh.
With Ray Phoenix, I wrote in my notes Ricochet Memorial Award because that's where he's headed right now. He is losing left and right.
He is. The problem is he is not a former Intercontinental Champion who we've seen have a lot of success. I mean, last time he was doing anything was the tag team with Andrade.
Yeah, and we really had some momentum. It felt like that team had momentum. And,
Yes, they absolutely had momentum. I have it written down here. They won a fatal 4-way for the #1 contender spot for the tag team titles back in July. They were on the rise.
I honestly, I don't know what the hell they're doing with Ray Phoenix because he was so good in AEW, and he's just treated like a jobber. I mean, he is a jobber at this point.
Yeah.
And it's weird to poach someone from AEW, like put him on the main roster, which means you're paying him, and then be like, okay, can you go job for us? It's like you could have pulled someone up from NXT to do what he's doing, right?
Sure, you could have just taken regular people from whatever town you're in.
Right.
We want Ricky. We want Ricky.
Totally no reason that Ricky, is not on the WWE roster. Ricky was great. What was his name? Ricky what? I'm forgetting.
Ricky Gibson.
Ricky Gibson, yeah. Oh, he was so awesome.
Yeah, they've done that before. Carmen Harris, the women's wrestler when they were in Connecticut.
And I'm looking at Ray Phoenix too. He's 34 years old, which is like you're a prime, let's just say, as a pro wrestler. And so it's not like he's over the hill and nobody really knows him, and he's lucky just to be in WWE because he had a big impact in AEW with Penta. So, and they brought him in kind of for the name recognition because he was in the Lucha Bros. So, I don't know. Maybe they're just they don't see it in him, or they just don't know what to do with them. So they're just having him go out there, get paid, and lose, and see what you can do.
I don't know. You saw more of him in AEW, and you've talked me into his ability, and I'll go with it because from what I've seen of him, he does have a lot of ability. It may just be a case where creative just hasn't come up with anything for him so far, and maybe it's a good sign that they're still keeping him on TV because they could just bury a guy in the back in catering if they don't have any ideas. Mm-hmm. So at least they're using him on TV.
Yeah, so I know we're moving rather quickly, but I think it kind of makes sense just based off of what the show has given us here.
There were 2 matches left that were the longest matches of the night.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite from amongst those two? They were the first 2 matches of the show.
I think we got rid of the 2 squashes. One was a squash in the fact that it was 2 minutes. So It was like a nothing burger of a match. The other was just a squash match and like had some action, but
we got rid of the no contest, the squash, and the extended squash.
Yeah. Not to foreshadow where my thumb's headed, but yeah. We got all right. So
the thumb is headed in your eye. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
I think probably Johnny Gargano versus Dragunov here.
Yeah. Okay.
For the
first match of the night.
For the men's U.S. title.
Right, for the U.S. title, the U.S. Championship Open Challenge. Tommaso Ciampa comes out with Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae because Tommaso Ciampa wants a shot there. And Ilya Dragunov says, I'll give the title shot to him and points to Johnny Gargano. I guess because maybe last week, technically, Johnny Gargano walked up to him first and started mouthing off.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'll give him the title shot. So Johnny Gargano goes in for the title shot. And they go about 11 minutes. Ilya Dragunov does win it with Johnny Gargano on the apron. Dragunov climbs to the second turnbuckle, lifts Gargano from the apron completely over the ropes into a second turnbuckle superplex.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there gets up and hits his flying forearm drop that they're calling the H-bomb for the pinfall in about 11 minutes here. Gargano looked good. But Ilya Dragunov is still the U.S. champion. What say you about this match?
I'll tell you what. Johnny Gargano look like he belonged. I know that's a weird thing to say at this point in his career, but you kind of forget a little bit about DIY and what they can do alone as individual guys. And I can remember he had some complete bangers in NXT. So I think he's a good guy for this role, to go out and lose in a good match.
Mhm.
I do have to say, Dragunov, two of his moves are just fantastic. The awesome German suplex and the pump handle slam. Basically, he takes the pump handle and flips him forward.
Mhm.
That looks really good. And, the side, there's like a side headlock thing that Dragunov did too, where he really got some height to take him up and then put him down. He's just very explosive and athletic.
Mm.
I really like his style, and I do have to agree on with the announce team. Michael Cole said he's got like an old school feel, but with a lot of flair of the more modern stuff. So I think he's a really unique worker, and I don't really see a lot of people working like him. And I like the style, so I think he's the right. He's he's been the most exciting thing about SmackDown for the last couple weeks for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'd have to
he's
say.
entertaining. Yeah, entertaining matches. He's definitely a great athlete. Understands the intensity of pro wrestling, the way he moves around the ring, gestures to the crowd, um, sells like he's being too intense, like he's hurting himself on some of these moves. Reaching for the back of his head after he hits a big move that also winds up with him hitting the mat, whether it's a big suplex or a big slam of some sort. So uh, I think a good move, especially if Sami Zayn did need a little time off. Great move to just transfer the belt to Ilya Dragunov in that great match that he and Sami Zayn had. Because Ilya Dragunov seems to be the kind of guy who can continue the U.S. Open, the U.S. Championship Open Challenge,
Right.
which is a neat thing for SmackDown because it's like the early days of Don't Bury the Lead when there were a lot of Gunther matches on TV.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, yeah, we want to see the Intercontinental belt defended on SmackDown. That's kind of the belt that gets defended on TV a lot. And so this is it as well. And you really, if you want to trace the lineage, it started with LA Knight last year. And then it like didn't do anything with Shinsuke Nakamura. And then with Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa, it was kind of on the shelf as well. But then Sami Zayn brought back, yeah, we're gonna wrestle a lot on TV and bring this belt out.
Yeah. I do have one question for you.
Sure.
Did you notice when Johnny Gargano kicked Dragunov in the back of the head? It looked super stiff. It looked like he really hit him. I was wondering if that was a receipt, because I did have a theory that
Okay.
Gargano wasn't really selling it that well. It seemed like on one of the German suplexes, he whipped Gargano in the back of his head pretty hard.
Oh.
And then Gargano kicked him in the back of the head, and it looked like he made contact when he hit him. And there's something here where it's either a receipt or both workers are excellent sellers, and it tricked me. So one of the two.
And they don't mind working stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Dragunov does not at all. He's laying everything in, which a lot of people, a lot of people like us that watch stuff on the and talk about wrestling on the internet will be like, "Oh, I don't like him not working safe, blah 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 blah." But selfishly for me, I'm like, I just want the performance to be good, and if they work
Mhm.
stiff, it looks better, So
You can work stiff and still work safe, like a lariat to the chest, that's a fairly protected area.
and it's stiff, but it's the right spot to hit.
Yes. And
I
as
don't
long as the other guy knows it's coming, yeah, I mean, hear the slap of the arm on the chest and take the bump.
I don't think it was reckless. Like sometimes Logan Paul does stuff where it's stiff because it's like he doesn't really know what he's doing, and he's just landing and he's hitting people really hard, and it's
Yes.
and that's stiff, and it's just because it's not that safe either.
We had at least one of those I saw in the last match. If you want to go to that one,
let's do it. Let's talk about. We got the hometown girl, Charlotte Flair, versus Nia Jax. They were in North Carolina, so
it was one of the Carolina. I thought it was Greenville, but I'm not sure. Somewhere in the Carolinas, and I was surprised that we didn't get a lot of crowd yelling during the Charlotte Flair match.
Oh, you're right. It is
This is the
Greenville.
Carolinas. Aren't these wrestling fans?
Supposedly, right? You
And like they're dead the whole night.
well, what's that tell you? They're good wrestling fans. So
yeah, maybe that was it. But yeah, Charlotte Flair with Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. This is right after the week after Nia Jax loses to Alexa Bliss with a little bit of Charlotte Flair distraction to help her. So now Nia Jax gets Charlotte Flair this week. I'll get to how the match started a little later. Because we'll have to talk about that. But this match goes a little more than somewhere between 10 and 11 minutes. Nia Jax winds up winning it with the Annihilator after Charlotte Flair was distracted when out of the crowd, here comes Lash Legend, who had been on NXT for a long time. She and Jakara Jackson were a tag team for a while. They had gotten a few appearances on SmackDown a while back. I think Jakara Jackson was released. They kept Lash Legend around. And now she and Nia Jax, it looks like they're forming the female version of the Twin Towers. They are enormous.
yes. I liked Lash Legend because I can remember seeing her and thinking, man, this girl is actually like what should be in Jade's spot, because she could work a lot better. Like in just the brief time I saw her, and I'm like, she's a huge girl, right? Like, and I was like, this is Jade Cargill, but younger and looks like she got some training in NXT. So I'm glad that they're bringing her up, and I don't really think I think that getting aligned with Nia's done pretty good with the story. I think since her return to WWE, so it's a good vet to be paired with.
Yeah, I mean, it gave Tiffany Stratton something to do that really elevated Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, I mean, the best stuff we saw with Tiffany Stratton was with Nia Jax. So
right.
Yeah. So, I think that I'm glad that Lash Legend is back.
This was a pretty good match. I did like it. Nia playing the, she's the slower worker because Charlotte's got the speed advantage, but Nia is the big powerful heel role she's good at. You mentioned we were talking before about maybe a spot that looks like it hurt. Charlotte did a top turnbuckle moonsault at one point, and it looked like she didn't quite judge where Nia was in the ring.
Yeah.
Charlotte lands knees first on Nia's midsection and core there.
I do remember that. Yeah.
And like, oh my goodness, that is a stiff moonsault.
Yeah, like that's the worst way you could do it is you land with all that little. It's all about surface area, right? When you land, and like you're hitting just the one like smaller part with your knees directly onto Nia, rather than you'd almost rather overshoot it and then get your knees
your
down.
arms that hit the wrestler.
Yeah, but she went short and just destroyed her.
Nia kicks out, so she wasn't legitimately hurt there.
Mm-hmm. I did like one back and forth between Charlotte and Nia. So there was a botched kip up by Charlotte where she didn't get up, but she played it off to the crowd and like started flexing at the crowd and smiling and going like this. So I like that because she took it was like a happy accident. She took a botch and got some heat from the crowd, like to get them going. And then Nia responds and goes like this and like makes fun of her to the crowd. And the crowd gives it to like starts giving crap to Nia. So I think just that like both of the wrestlers' ability to improv the botch spot, like that's just I don't know. I like when you see that in live performances where it's not so clean and they know they messed up, but they're able to like clean it up, right?
Yep.
So I thought that was actually a good transition as a result.
And the
then,
heel mocks it. Like, that's perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you know your heel's paying attention.
It makes it feel like, Dom, a lot of the stuff out there is actually happening live rather than it's all scripted ahead of time and they're just doing a performative dance.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
So there's some realism to it, if you will.
Yep.
I don't really have much more with the match. I think you pretty much touched on all the spots I wanted to talk about anyway. So, yeah, do you want to start talking about some of the segments we saw? Because we had a lot.
Before this match, Jade Cargill was in the ring for a promo. And so on her way out of the ring, back up the entrance ramp, that's when they started Charlotte Flair's music. So you got this stare down between Charlotte Flair appearing from the back and Jade Cargill taking her sweet old time getting out of the ring from her segment. And they gave you that Jade Cargill, Charlotte Flair stare down. So they're setting up that at some point we're going to get Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill. Whether it's while Charlotte and Alexa still have the tag team championships or whether it's after that for Charlotte's next program, that could be something good. But I mean, as for Jade Cargill's in-ring promo itself, it lasts under a minute and it just finishes with her saying, "I'm that bitch." And, you know, there she goes. That's it. She drops the mic and she leaves the ring. So, you know, to the surprise of no one, WWE Creative booked Jade Cargill for a squash promo.
Yeah. I like that squash promo. That's great.
That's all it was. She took longer getting into the ring and then longer getting out of the ring.
Boy, Dom.
And I don't want to criticize Jade for this because I think it's unfair to criticize people when you haven't seen what they can do. Like WWE Creative, let her show what she can do.
You know, and she seems like one of her attributes is her charisma, right? So when she gets on the mic,
I mean, that every star needs that, right?
Yeah, she totally has the look and she has the ring presence. So, and like I've seen her in interviews and she's cool. I mean, I don't know if that's going to translate to a live spoken thing, but I think it's a good indicator that she can talk because she's cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, you know, when you look at what, and I don't think we have done this yet, but I'm creative. This whole show, I was just scratching my head. I was like, why are we giving the one thing that is cool that happened tonight is Chelsea Green winning the title.
Yes.
And we gave it 2 minutes.
Yep.
And the rest of the show was like a squash, a non-finish that was a storyline extender. There was a Jade Cargill promo that was meaningless. You know, the Cody Rhodes opening segment was just to set up the main event, which ended up being nothing burger. You know,
yes, right.
And this was I mean, I know this one is this SmackDown specifically was like a no-brainer in the thumb drive.
Well, we will get there. Anything else you want to talk about? We've hit the 5 matches. Some stuff behind the scenes that happened. It looks like we're going to have Jade Cargill versus B-Fab next week. Confrontation outside the women's locker room.
Mm-hmm.
So good for B-Fab. And it's a strange situation because B-Fab's the veteran in that pairing, isn't she?
She really is, right? It feels like it.
So let's see what she can do. Unless they're just going to have her go out there and get squashed.
They are kind of doing with Jade Cargill what AEW did, even though a lot of people critiqued what they did with with Jade Cargill, they were just like, "Oh, is she just gonna do a bunch of squashes now?" And it's like that's what she did in AEW, and that was the critique. Like they just Goldberged her. I'm like, are they gonna just Goldberg her until somebody gets off the shelf and healthy, and then they flip the belt to, Bianca Belair or something?
Until there's a weird cattle prod match.
Yes, they should do the whole thing, just ironically like that, and then they'll have a cattle prod, and she'll be zapping her with the cattle prod, and it's like, yeah, I do remember that the cattle prod match. Boy, I remember that as watching it. I was much younger. I think I was literally a child, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I was a child, and I was thinking, like, man, this is really stupid. Like, it's bad when you're 13 and you're like, this is really stupid.
This is so far beneath my refined 13-year-old palate.
Exactly. I think I was
like the artistic content here leaves a lot to be desired.
A lot to be desired.
What uncultured swine.
No, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go watch Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, I do remember that being specifically bad. All right, Dom. Well,
backstage, as Alexa Bliss is awaiting medical attention in one of the trainers' rooms, the doctor comes in, but it's Asuka spraying mist at Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. And there's her nurse, and it's Kairi Sane.
Right.
So that was a little fun. Other stuff that happened backstage, Fraxium getting a few licks in verbally on Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. So they're still around. Maybe something to look forward to down the line. Got to keep the men's tag team. We haven't seen a lot from the men's tag team division recently, especially around the title picture. At some point, the MFTs walked off, and you could see Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis lurking from behind some equipment behind them. And there was Eric Rowan telling them, no, stay back, not yet. So Eric Rowan is the sane one in the group. We have picked up on. He's the one giving the sage advice to the others, Eric Rowan. So very good for him. Joe Gacy, of course, from Southern New Jersey.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Joe Gacy from the Wyatt Six from Southern New Jersey. I found out about this at my most recent haircut because he's from the Gloucester County area.
Oh,
His
wow.
father is also a customer at the barber where I get my haircut.
No.
Yes.
Wow. So they're probably like, you're talking to them about wrestling because you have the wrestling show, and Joe Gacy's dad is in there.
Well, he wasn't in the shop at the same time, but, my barber knows that I do the wrestling thing. He follows us.
Yeah.
And so he's talking to me about it. It's like, do you know Joe Gacy? Have you seen him on wrestling? Because the Wyatt Six had just been getting more TV time by the last time I was in there early October. And he said to me, yeah, Joe Gacy, his dad is from around here. I'm like, no way. All right, that's fantastic. So, yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. You're right. Franklinville. That's definitely South Jersey.
I'm in Clayton. I'm right above Franklin Township.
Oh, he was in CZW. Interesting.
Yeah, so Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis lurking around backstage. We'll see what is in store for the men's tag team champions as well. The biggest pop of the night for me was when they announced that next week the opening round of the John Cena Who Gets to Fight in His Last Match tournament will be a mystery opponent versus LA Knight. We're getting an LA Knight match back on SmackDown. It's been so long. Highlight of the night for me. Nick Aldis refused to say who the opponent would be. Like, oh, I have to save this for next week. So maybe is it Gunther coming back? Are we going to get LA Knight and Gunther back on SmackDown for one night only this coming November 14th?
Yeah. That would be amazing.
One or the other. We're at least getting LA Knight, it looks like. They've already announced it. So who is the other person going to be? That's going to be fun.
We need them back on the show, boy.
Right?
After tonight, I need Gunther. They gotta throw a SmackDown a bone here. with what's going on. I get Cody Rhodes is on the show, and he's
Yes.
great, but I got to see some guys that can wrestle some matches.
Yeah, I mean, putting the belt back on Chelsea Green seems like it has a lot of potential, but I got to see more of that, and she's got to be less comedy if she's going to have a belt now.
Yeah, even
she can wrestle. We've seen her for years. She can wrestle. If she didn't do the comedy gimmick, you'd be saying that she's a main eventer just from her in-ring ability.
Michael Cole, like Julia was beating up on her, and Michael Cole's like, "Oh, this one's gonna go fast."
And little did he know.
And I think he said that because he knew the finish. He's like, "Oh, this one's gonna go fast," and it's like, "Oh, how shocking! Chelsea Green won it." It's like she's already the U.S. champ that she won clean before,
So, I think that's it for the show. I don't think we missed any of the backstage stuff or the interviews or any of the in-ring confrontations.
Dom, is it drive time?
I think it's drive time. I think it's time for you and I to get in the vehicle here and with our thumbs, the thumb drive, you and I are going to distill this wrestling program we've watched into a simple thumbs up or a thumbs down. There are no ties. There are also no letter grades, no number grades, no star ratings. You're taking this course. Pass, fail.
Dom, we're not Dave Meltzer. We don't give 7 stars at the Tokyo Dome. We don't give 1 star at the CZW Arena in some high school in Franklinville. No.
How dare they?
No. We don't give stars. You either say the show was good or the show was bad. So, Dom, are you ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Oh, why'd you give the show a thumbs up?
I don't know. I just, as I was watching it, it never hit me. Like when a show is not going well, there's something during the show that hits me and says this show is not going well. But nothing during the show other than the crowd being out of it. But while I will use a good crowd reaction to maybe enhance a show, I don't blame the wrestlers if the crowd is dead, because maybe the crowd just sucks. So between getting the announcement that LA Knight's coming back and getting a Chelsea Green title win, we got to see Cody Rhodes wrestle even though the match was thrown out. Ilya Dragunov, pretty good. There was no point during the show where I went, this isn't working for me. I know it wasn't a great show. It may not even been a pretty good show, but there was no point where I just felt like this is a waste of time.
Yeah.
And so if there's no point where I say this is a waste of time, then I teeter and give it a thumb. LA Knight and Chelsea Green. And I got to use my joke about the squash promo for Jade Cargill. Well, what else? How can I possibly give that a thumbs down? Although I understand that there are very many reasons to give this show a thumbs down. And I have a feeling that you're going to make that case for us now.
Yeah. Through the first hour, I thought, this is okay. It's kind of not that good right now. I need something to kind of pick the show up and save it. So then I saw Chelsea Green come out, and I was like, oh, hell yeah, Chelsea Green. This is perfect. This is exactly what we'll give this a thumbs up. And then the match goes 2 minutes, and it's all this goofy finish, and then they give her the belt. And then after that, I have Ray Phoenix versus Tama Tonga, and not that good of a match. And I was just like, why the hell did they get all that time? Chelsea Green got 2 minutes. She won the title, which is great. But I like to see good matches for title wins. That's the only time you should. That should be mandatory that you see a really good match when there's going to be a title change, and you can have the bad ending. You can have the roll up ending. That's fine. You don't do a 2-minute match. It's ridiculous. It makes the champ look like a buffoon, and they're supposed to be your champ. And then they're making fun of Chelsea Green and making her a comedy character. It's like, is this the idiot belt now? What is this? So I was upset. I wasn't too happy with that. The main event, another schmoz. I just don't like the schmozes, and I get you're furthering storyline, but when it's all furthering storyline stuff on SmackDown, then I don't need to watch it. Just tell me what happened. Just I'll Drew McIntyre punching him from behind and punching the ref isn't going to make me be like, whoa, this rivalry is going to be so much better now, So, this isn't going to do it for me. So end of the day, thumbs down. Forget it.
I gotta say that's a really strong case for a thumbs down.
I
may have just been glowing because LA Knight, he's coming back, even if it's just for 1 week.
There are some times when one good thing happens on a show and it's going to be a thumbs up. For several weeks, it didn't matter how good or bad the show was. When they moved it to 2 hours, I was like, thumbs up. It's 2 hours. I love it. I don't have to go for the third hour. Because
it's like the old joke, the Woody Allen joke. It's like, oh, this restaurant is terrible. The food, it's so awful. And such small portions.
Right.
It's like, oh, this you're kind of doing the opposite as far as the small portions. Like, this show is terrible, but it's only 2 hours. This is great.
Yeah.
This steak is like dog food. But I can finish it. It's not overbearing.
Right. All right. That's the thumb drive. Is it time for Cheap Heat?
It is time for you know what the segment is after we put a bow on the wrestling show we've watched. It's time to go beyond just the one wrestling program that we recap tonight, because the world of professional wrestling, especially in the US, is bigger than just SmackDown. It's even bigger than just the WWE and what happens in the ring. It's a major industry. It's a major business. It's a major form of entertainment. There's more stuff to talk about, and I think we're going to do that.
Yep, that's right.
Do you want to take the first spot there, because you have something queued up that you may be able to play some sound on?
Yeah, so I think this is Cheap Heat. This is the show where we talk about trending topics, and we have a lot of discussion about these trending topics. We cut the videos down, we release those onto YouTube. We've had some success doing that. We figured that out like a year, I should say like 6 months to a year into making content, and we started to get more and more views, and it's been a lot of fun. So we're just sticking with here with what works. Let me go ahead. I will share my screen, because the first thing we're going to be talking about here is Triple H, who is on the All In podcast. Had an interesting segment here, and I will back it up just so we get it at the right time. And I'll hit play.
I think social media leads you to it, but I think for a lot of, this is just my theory, but I think that moment in COVID started to maybe show people that objects aren't where it's at. That experiences are where it's at.
Yeah.
And especially shared experience. So when you talk about, your relationship with your dad, that was your thing. I hear that all the time. 50% or more of our audience comes with a child, comes with a family member. 40% of our fan base is women. We're one of the most diverse sports, if you want to look at it that way, or entertainment products out there. But the thing that I love the most is when I look in the crowd, when I'm running an event, I'm in the back and they're panning that crowd on camera, and I see what I clearly see as a grandfather with their kids and their grandkids sitting all together, freaking out over the show. And that grandfather was into Bruno Sammartino, and the dad was into The Rock or Stone Cold, and the kids now are into Roman Reigns or Rhea Ripley, or it's amazing, and it binds families together. It gives them something to enjoy together, and those shared experiences, at the end of the day, to me, a car is only worth the value of if you pack it with your family and you go somewhere with it and you remember the ride. That to me is it. It's the rest of it is amazing.
You were at the White House for the Presidential Fitness Challenge. being relaunched.
Yes.
And
All right.
Yes.
Dom, great call because you sent me that. You have anything to say about Triple H speaking there?
I think he's right. Live events, they do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
Live events are a chance to share an experience with people, and the WWE, for a while it was when Vince McMahon started it in the 80s, consolidated into the national promotion. The problem was that it was maybe too cartoonish and too much for kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the Attitude Era, it became maybe it was too raunchy and too geared towards not only adult humor and adult situations, but not even all adults were into that. And I think they found a happy medium where they just put out a good product that lots of people can enjoy from different backgrounds, different ages, different different other interests that they have that somehow overlap with professional wrestling. And I think he's right. And as good of a television product that the WWE puts on, and they do an excellent television product. There's something to be said for how much effort and how many resources they put into the live fan experiences, which is why when we get a SmackDown like tonight where the crowd seems dead, that you and I notice it, because that's such an anomaly for a WWE live event.
Totally. And, you look at the prices of going out to events now, they're higher as a result of the demand. So he's right that the demand is there. And I do have to say that when COVID had their restrictions and then they got leveled off, I would go to Phillies games, and you had to sit in certain seats, and I went to so many more Phillies games, even though they weren't good. Like, they weren't a good team at that time, but I just forced myself to go, and I was like, this is amazing, because I hadn't been doing anything. I've been just sitting in my house. So, yeah, I definitely am an experiences over buy some really nice I don't know, buy an awesome laptop or something or buy like a really, really cool car. Like, no way. I'd rather just do something cool. So at the end of the day, I agree with him, and I think he's probably correct in that thinking. And you could see it. I see it anecdotally for me, because I go to events all the time now. I go to sporting events. I go to the theater. I go to wrestling shows. Like, anytime AEW's in town, I go there. So, at the end of the day, at concerts as well, I do try to hit up a couple concerts if I like the band a lot. So at the end of the day, experiences are definitely very in now. You can tell because of the ticket prices, which are through the roof.
And you've talked on our shows before about attending AEW live shows. I mean, had you remembered going to wrestling shows like 6, 7, 8 years ago?
No.
And no.
Yeah, I wasn't. I would go. So I went to AEW's first show ever in Philly. They was like, I think it was their second show ever, and it was in Philadelphia. And I went to that because I was very interested in them, and I liked it. And I've been a fan. I've gone to every show in Philly since. But that was, and then COVID hit immediately after that. So they did a lot of COVID stuff, and then for me, I would go to SmackDown occasionally, but I got traumatized at one SmackDown.
Yes.
So basically, they did the Baron Corbin. Roman Reigns was face, and he was like terrible face because he hadn't turned heel, and he was supposed to turn heel. He should have just turned heel, but they never turned him heel. So it was like a face kind of getting booed because people didn't like him. And then Baron Corbin dressed up like a dog, and they changed his theme song, Roman Reigns' theme song, and he came out, and there was a doggy barking throughout the song. So I don't even want to impersonate what was happening, but it was like the stupidest thing ever. So Baron Corbin's dressed like a dog, and he's making fun of Roman Reigns dressed as a dog. And then at one point, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna pour him dog food on him," and then the dog food gets poured on Baron Corbin instead. So there's dog food all over the ring. It's like disgusting. And I was like, this is so stupid. I went to the bathroom, and when I went to the bathroom, like I was, I was talking to some guy after like we were like washing our hands. He's like, this is the dumbest shit, man. This is the worst show. And it was me and him. I went up to my seats. It was tons of kids, and they were all on their phones watching other things besides what was on what was like Smackdown. So the kids were just in the building, not paying attention, playing with their phones.
Oh.
And it was just like I was like, I can't do WWE again. And then
that sounded like you got 2 thumbs down.
I got 2 thumbs down
from you and your new friend from the restroom there.
Yeah, they were actively we were actively trashing the show, and we were at. So yeah,
it seems that a strange bifurcation has appeared in modern society where people do so many things electronically, but at the same time, live events are still a big deal.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if total live event attendance is where it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. But the guys at the top of the mountain are still drawing, like Taylor Swift draws huge crowds for her tours.
Yeah, insane.
WWE draws huge crowds for their wrestling shows. So the guys at the top are still drawing huge live event numbers. Good morning, Fixer. Just what it's another early morning for you over there in the UK if you just woke up. Excellent work. We are talking live events and whether or not the atmosphere around live events is different than it was, say, not obviously during the COVID era, but even before the COVID era. What's it like now? And Triple H was Paul Levesque. He was on the All In. He was at the All In Summit, and they interviewed him for about 20-ish minutes. And good stuff that he said. And again, it shows you, just to fill some people in, the All In podcast is available on YouTube. If you're on YouTube and you're subscribing to Don't Bury the Lead and you want to go search for the All In podcast, guys, they're on YouTube as well. They are big in the tech industry, all 4 of those guys. So this was not a wrestling show where he was interviewed. This was a big time technology business summit where Paul Levesque came out as chief content officer. And yeah, they were hamming it up because Paul Levesque was a wrestler for a long time. And these guys, they're somewhat wrestling fans. But they were talking the business of wrestling at a business summit.
Yeah. Dom, do you want to go ahead and share your screen and we'll jump into the rest of Cheap Heat?
We can jump into it next. The next up for us as I share the screen is something involving AEW and NWA.
Oh.
Comes to us from Brandon Thurston from WrestleNomics. He's got a dispute here over the name Shockwave. NWA had used Shockwave a few years ago and then maybe another year ago as well. It was also something that that AEW has wanted to do. They're trying to trademark Shockwave. And so the NWA is now pitching a fit because AEW is trying to bring in a wrestling belt that sounds weirdly similar, the national championship that sounds weirdly similar to an NWA national championship. So it's a little bit of in the US legal climate, it's intellectual property, it's trademarks, it's this it sounds like you one promotion getting mad at the other one and then going tit for tat with them. Brandon Thurston has this graphic here from a recent time where the NWA did use the Shockwave name that AEW is trying to also trademark. Perhaps it's going to be a new show, either a regular weekly show or one of their premium live events, pay-per-views. But as he says here, AEW's new national championship title on Dynamite on Wednesday quickly caught attention, not because it will be roughly the 12th title belt for the promotion, but because the title shares a name with a championship in a prior incarnation of the National Wrestling Alliance in the 1980s, as well as the current version of the NWA under Billy Corgan's leadership. So the whole national championship, the national wrestling heavyweight champion. From AEW standpoint, does AEW need another title belt?
No.
No.
They do not need another title belt. It would depend on how they introduce it and what it is.
Mm-hmm.
There probably is. No, I think we got to figure out what all the, because they had so many changes, but maybe if there's a tournament for it, which might make sense, and then you win that belt after, and then you keep you don't defend the belt. It can be like what you win as a prize if you win the tournament. I think they do that with the Owen Hart Memorial belt.
Yes.
So there's an Owen Hart Memorial tournament, and there's a pink belt, and then you win that as the trophy, but it's not your belt that you defend then.
Sure.
So they might do that for the Continental Classic.
Okay.
Because in the past, what they've been doing with the Continental Classic never really made any sense. They would do this tournament for the belt, and then the person wins the belt. So then what do you do when you go back to the tournament?
Sure.
So they kind of kept making up belts, and then they would win the belt in that tournament. So I hope this is just a trophy then.
Sure. Like the Owen Hart winner, or like King of the Ring in WWE, something like that.
Yeah.
In its announcement, AEW referenced the title's origin in the territorial era of wrestling, when the belt was prominent in then NWA member promotions like Georgia Championship Wrestling. So AEW's argument is like, look, the national title's been used by a lot of different people. It's silly to think that only one promotion should own something as generic as national championship.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, AEW sounds right about that. I mean, if you were gonna take something like the Intercontinental Championship, which is something that's really specific only to the old WWF, and then the WWF, and now the WWE, that would be a little funny. But like a national championship, I mean, college football's national championship, basketball's national championship. Like national championship is a common thing in major collegiate sports. It's not even just a wrestling thing.
It's very common. The national championship. Yeah, I feel like that probably leans more into maybe college football, the tournament would make more sense because Continental Classic happens during the national championship, the college football championship. So maybe that's what they're going for, not even the NWA thing.
Yeah.
They want to call it the national championship. Maybe it's going to be like a, it'll look like that college football ball, or but it'll be a mat. Who knows? Like
there you go. Maybe it's that. Maybe they're going to finally have it unveiled during the college football national championship. At least one NWA wrestler claimed on social media that the introduction of the new title by AEW was retaliation over the Shockwave trademark litigation. That's the other thing here. Neither AEW or NWA responded to requests for comment. Let's see here. Shockwave, the trademark dispute between AEW and NWA over the Shockwave name only. NWA wrestler Brian Idol claimed in posts online that the introduction was in response to the Shockwave dispute. So Shockwave was something used by NWA. I think most recently, September 23rd, 2024, NWA filed its own application to register Shockwave. But unlike AEW's filing, which was totally speculative, NWA filed it under that they had already used it. And it had been in use since December 1st, 2020, when they debuted a series of events that were streamed on YouTube using that branding. So legal fights, it happens. See, it's not just Vince McMahon who's involved in legal fights. Sometimes the promotion themselves are involved in legal fights. It's kind of boring in a sense, but it's the kind of thing that, we were just talking about Paul Levesque being on a huge technology and business summit. Wrestling is big business. So this stuff could matter, and something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
So I wanted to say real quick before we hop off to this. Fixer had a couple things.
Very good.
LA Knight opponent in the tournament, I'm sure, will be Joe Hendry.
That would be cool. I'm just glad that we're going to get LA Knight on SmackDown again for the first time in months.
We're giving automatic thumbs up, by the way.
Yeah. I also do believe in Joe Hendry. He's a great talent.
AEW getting another belt. Are they going to give it to Mercedes Moné? Oh, well, I know she's the belt collector, but I do not
I was almost going to make that joke, yes. Are they introducing another belt because Mercedes Moné has to set yet another record?
She has to hit like 14 belts or something. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Dom. Let's go to the next story.
Very good. Speaking of NWA and other promotions, Adam Pearce, 5-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion, posted to his social media. This comes from his X account. 30 years ago today, my professional journey began in professional wrestling. He's referencing there. It has allowed me to visit places and experience cultures in our world I never would have otherwise, and to meet so many people, some like-minded, some so different, all sharing the same passion. Grateful for every step, misstep, and restep. Here's to the next 30. He, like Nick Aldis, looks like they could still get in the ring if they had to.
We want to see it.
It's been a long time. Congratulations to Adam Pearce. This was posted on November 5th, which was, I believe, that was Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So Wednesday. Wednesday, November 5th was his 30-year anniversary of beginning in professional wrestling. Congratulations to the Raw GM, former SmackDown GM as well.
Mm-hmm.
From WrestleZone, this is a story about Cody Rhodes. Says the offer to play Guile in Street Fighter was a surprise to him. He was on the All the Smoke podcast, and he says that he was in conversation. He initially thought he was going just for a general meeting with Legendary Pictures, only to find out they already wanted him to play Guile in Street Fighter. I went into a meeting thinking I was going to talk to them about other stuff, and they said, "We have a specific role in mind for you." And he says, "I know the role. I used to play Street Fighter as the game." Street Fighter is slated for release in just about a year's time, October 16th, 2026. The movie also stars Roman Reigns, and then Timu Roman Reigns, also known as Jason Momoa, David Dastmalkian as Something Bison, and Vidyut Jamwal as Dalsim. So a lot of action heroes, some also professional wrestlers there. And I know there are some people out there, I'm friends with them, who very much are big Jason Momoa fans. It was a joke. Calm down.
I know.
He's not really Timu Roman Reigns.
He is fake Roman Reigns, but
they do look the same. There's quite a resemblance there.
Or is Jason Mimosa
a Street Fighter player, or were you familiar with maybe any of the cartoons or other shows that they did? Do you know this Guile character? Do you know the game?
I played the game growing up on Super Nintendo a little bit, but that's all I really know. Curious to see how big it's going to be. If Jason Momoa is in it. Is it Mimosa or Momoa?
Momoa. Mimosa is the thing that people drink at brunch.
That's right. It's not a drink. Okay. Jason Momoa. I know that he is a pretty big actor. So it might be
he played Aquaman.
Yeah. He's played in some big roles, and he's kind of a household name. I've seen him in commercials and stuff like that. He's an A-list celebrity, I have to say.
There you go.
So I think at the end,
suspiciously like Roman Reigns.
But Cody is. But considering they didn't have a guy and then they just picked Cody, maybe it's not going to be a big movie. I don't know. It's weird. But Cody it should be a good fit for the character because he's just like an all-American military guy.
There you go.
They may have
It's a
to.
very corporate movie. Will corporate Cody do well as corporate Guile?
Yeah, they may have to cover up that ridiculous neck tattoo he has because it's such a Cody Rhodes thing. So I think if they cover up that neck tattoo, he should look good. Or maybe they could CGI it out.
Costuming, or they were able to do the CGI like they did for The Rock in the Smashing Machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they can do amazing things nowadays. Speaking of amazing things, Kevin Owens posts on his X account. He is starting workouts. Running, lifting the knees, getting some impact in there. I don't know if he's had his neck surgery or if he just decided to forego it for a while and do some other kind of therapy, but good to see Kevin Owens. This just short 12-second looped video here of him getting in some cardio, some workouts. Good news. Good news anytime it looks like somebody has got their health back in order and is able to start getting active again. Kevin Owens has been out for a while. It was just before WrestleMania when it was announced that he would not be able to face Randy Orton at WrestleMania, which led to the great moment when Joe Hendry was announced at WrestleMania as Randy Orton's surprise opponent. So that's how long it's been. This was back sometime in March or even late February when they decided that Kevin Owens was unable to compete in WrestleMania.
Yeah. Cool cool to see him working out again. He's a really valuable asset to the company, right? When he's there, he could do anything for them. He could be their champ.
Yes.
He could job to people, make them look good. He could wrestle younger guys, bring them along. He can announce. He's hilarious as an announcer, although he could theoretically right now too, right?
Guest commentator, yeah, right.
Good for him to take some time off, go away for a little bit, and then when you come back, it'll be awesome.
All right. And last up here, John Cena's retirement tour included a stop at the Dungeon. You can see John Cena here, middle of the picture, the group shot here. That is Natalya and her husband, I think Tyson Kidd. They run the, if I've forgotten the name wrong, I apologize, but they run the Dungeon, and John Cena was there to work out with a lot of the talent. And of course, it's just so awesome for people in the Dungeon to have John Cena there. It looks like there's at least 2 other WWE wrestlers here. This looks suspiciously like B-Fab. This looks like Maxine Dupree. So we do know that there are other wrestlers who go and work out with Natalya at the Dungeon. Jade Cargill has done it. Liv Morgan has done it. Maxine Dupree has done it. B-Fab has done it. And now John Cena showed up to get in a workout and also to interact with a lot of the other people just working out there on the up and swing, maybe trying to start out in the professional wrestling business. John, have you ever been involved in something where in your indie days where you got to meet at either a wrestling school or at another event, some training facility, someone who had kind of made it? I mean, obviously not to the level of John Cena, I'm guessing did not happen because he's the GOAT. But anybody from your past in the indie days that you can talk about?
So I got trained at Chikara, and a lot of really good people, and that was in Philadelphia, and a lot of good people went through there. Cesaro, aka Claudio now. He was like the big guy that they had trained there. There's a couple people in AEW that got trained there. There were some people in NXT that had made it to NXT, some girls that trained there. So when I was there and my time there, I didn't see anyone that big, but the guy that trained me, he apparently had some pretty good matches in his day, because he said like the biggest wrestling matches he ever did, he had 1,000 people at an ECW arena. seen one of his
Ah.
matches. So I'm like, okay, he's pretty big, but he has since retired. He retired almost like a year or two after I had been there, but he's a really cool guy.
Very good.
Yeah, he had a mask on. He was a snake guy. Like they always did like weird snake. They did weird mask guys at the thing. So he's like a snake guy with a snake mask. So he would take
Okay.
the mask off to train us, and then but he always had he was always masked in public too. Like he would be
Okay.
out places and he'd put his mask on. But he took the mask off for us. He's like, yeah, don't take any pictures of me or anything because this is it, right? You know. Uh,
Very luchador-esque. You would think that he would go out in public without the mask because no one would know who he's in. He'd be anonymous.
yeah, he's Ophidian. Yeah, and then he was Ophidian, and he also another person, Orange Cassidy. Have you heard of him at all?
Oh,
He was.
I've heard of
Jakar.
Orange Cassidy. Yes.
Yeah, he wrestled as Fire Ant there because they had these
Okay.
dumb gimmicks, and then he wrestled as Orange Cassidy in AEW. He eventually changed it to Orange Cassidy, and I can remember I was only there. I was there for a cup of coffee. I did the beginners training and got like a little bit better, and then I just didn't go on with the further training because I was actively the NJCW champ. So I'm like, I'm not gonna like leave my friends to go all in with this company. Although hindsight's 2020, it might not have been a terrible idea, like to really throw myself at this because there were guys there that were headed to AEW at some point. So. Anyways, yeah. So, how about you? Did you ever run into anybody backstage at NJCW?
Not really. Who were guys who had gotten onto big TV shows or whatever. I mean, this is just a cool thing to think about because John Cena doesn't have to do this. He doesn't have to be in the dungeon just training.
I was saying I'm so jealous that like I never went to a training and like John Cena was there. You'd be like, oh boy, this is amazing.
Now, he was there apparently for more than a photo op. You don't get to go to the dungeon unless you're going to work.
This is awesome.
So he was there to work out, to keep in shape, to maybe make his final match very, very special. Coming up, I think it's December 13th. It's going to be the Saturday night's main event in the middle of December, and we are eyeing that one here at Don't Bury the Lead.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a fun one to watch for a lot of reasons, not the least of which that it's, like a 2-hour show on Peacock that we can watch and it'll be over and done with like that.
Yeah.
Although I wonder if they let it go a little longer because it is John Cena's final match.
Yeah. We'll have to see.
Have some in-ring stuff afterwards. There was some bad feelings among some people because when Saturday night's main event was still on NBC in primetime, Goldberg's speech after his final match got cut out of the broadcast portion because NBC had to go to whatever was next at 10 o'clock. Other viewers got to see the rest of Goldberg's speech, but not the broadcast audience. Now that it's not a broadcast audience, it's totally on Peacock. They don't have the hard out for 2 hours. So we'll see what that's
Peacock might cash in here. John Cena's last match.
John Cena's last match because they don't have December pay-per-views.
I think that's going to be a crazy match, like a crazy draw. Like people are going to be freaking out,
Yes,
and I'm glad
I hope so.
I'm kind of glad it's off. Let's just say on a show like this where it's a side. There aren't really like pay-per-views, but they're kind of like pay-per-views, but they're not one of the big ones. Like he doesn't need to do this on a big pay-per-view. He just has like, this is the show, and this will get a huge rating, and he doesn't have to take over like Royal Rumble, right?
Yep. Well, the other thing is either Survivor Series or Royal Rumble have other matches that are not singles matches that usually steal the show.
Yeah.
So if he does Saturday night's main event, it will be very, 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 very obvious what the main event of that show is.
Oh, totally. Hey, what is he doing any more matches in general? Or is there only one more left?
I don't know. He's supposed to appear at Raw on November 10th.
Mm-hmm.
And either SmackDown on the 14th or Raw on the 17th. I think he may be done with SmackDowns, though. And maybe just 2 Raws, Survivor Series. He may have an appearance there, premium live event Thanksgiving weekend. And then a couple of weeks later, it's Saturday night's main event. The last time is now.
Mm-hmm. Crazy, right?
So this is probably the last time at the dungeon. Maybe this was it. So John Cena's farewell tour, retirement tour, makes a stop in the world famous dungeon. Natalya, her husband there, some other WWE wrestlers, and a lot of people who are going to save a copy of this photograph and hang it on their walls. So excellent for them. Ending on a very positive, very uplifting note here today. Because as always, it is pathologically frugal. It is unseasonably warm. The time is now, John. What is it?
It's cheap heat. All right. We're out. And we'll head into the Italian goodbye. Do we have any chats coming through? Can you see the chats? Or
I can if I go full screen here and click on that little chat icon. I do see some chats coming in. Yes, the Mercedes Monet joke from the Fixer. Yes.
mm-hmm.
I almost made the same joke myself. I'm glad you made the joke, Fixer. Gave me more confidence that it was actually a quality joke.
Well, Dom, this is the Italian goodbye, and this is the segment where Dom and I do an Italian goodbye. So we start to say goodbye, we're about to leave, and but wait a second. Let me just talk about one more thing here. And then we're about to go. And wait. How about this? Okay. And it's just like when you're at your Italian families, you're at Thanksgiving, you're in the foyer, you're trying to leave, and your aunt says, "Oh, hang on. I got these meatballs. Let me wrap these up for you. Come on in. All right, let's go get the meatballs. Oh, how's Susie doing? Oh, Susie's great. Yeah, she's doing good. I haven't seen her in a while, but I try to keep up with her. Oh, that's good. Let me get these meatballs, and and how's your friend Tony doing? Oh, Tony's awesome. I saw him last night, actually. Oh, he was such a nice boy. I'm so glad you keep up with him. And so you're saying goodbye, but you're constantly having a conversation. You're constantly like getting gifts too as you're leaving, getting things you may not necessarily want. Although Italian meatballs, I would be taking.
Very good,
Dom. So this is the Italian goodbye. We're hanging in there. We're not going to say goodbye. We're just going to keep talking about things. I will talk about one thing with you, and I talked about it earlier in the show. Thank you for giving me that Triple H clip. I had to get, I had to look for a clip, and I found that Logan Paul. I went on to X, and I looked up Logan Paul, trying to find a clip from like Impulsive where he said something stupid that I could like download and we could talk about it. And it was one of the worst online experiences I have had in recent memory. Just what X was giving me and going through all this stuff about Logan Paul, and I couldn't find any like Logan Paul wrestling. Then I thought I liked Logan Paul, so I was giving me like Logan Paul type people what they would like, and I was like, oh no, I just want the clip. So
your scrolling experience is over. The algorithm has pegged you for a Logan Paul fan.
They think that
you are a 12-year-old boy.
A 12-year-old boy with an attitude problem.
Yes.
Or something. And no self-esteem. So that's what I did. And I'm going to step away here. Fixer, do you have anything to say to us while we're hanging in here?
I will say, John, you mentioned before possibly adding TikTok to our live streaming options. Wherever, folks, you are watching us live, if you are watching us live, please know that the home base for all of our archived content is at YouTube. That's right. Don't Bury the Lead, a wrestling channel at YouTube. Search for us, find us, hit the subscribe button, help us climb our next mountain. We're getting close to 1,200 subscribers, which is awesome. When we first started this, it's like, could you imagine having even 100 subscribers? We got to 100 to 200 to 500. We got to 1,000, and now we're more than 100 past 1,000. Amazing. Head on over to Don't Bury the Lead, a wrestling channel on YouTube, and subscribe there. You can not only find the archived live streams, but all of the edited videos that John makes, the hashtag shorts that are under 60 seconds. Go through some of our cool stuff. Yes, our #1 video of all time involves Logan Paul. It was when Dominic Mysterio was on Impulsive, and they were talking about whether or not Logan Paul can travel to Japan. Go watch that video. It's a great one. It's right there at the top of most popular for us if you tab over to that. Great stuff there. Let's see here. Chat message coming in. John, that's what happens when you watch Impulsive. Yes. Yeah, if you wanted to find Logan Paul doing something, I would almost just search for Logan Paul's official accounts and not have to wade through the Logan Paul universe of watchers, viewers, listeners, and everything that they are posting that may or may not have Logan Paul's name in it. Yeah, I would go right to the source there. Just like with us, if you want to know something about Don't Bury the Lead, come right to the source. YouTube, Don't Bury the Lead, a wrestling channel. Hear it right from us. Hear it right from John and from myself. Right here on Don't Bury the Lead. No need to just wade through all sorts of other stuff on some sort of social media feed. Get right to Don't Bury the Lead, our home base at YouTube there. Very good.
Fixer, I gotta admit to you, I was like, I need to get a clip of Logan Paul. We need like another video with Logan Paul. And I was like, maybe I'll watch this Impulsive. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't sit through an hour of Logan Paul and Mikey and whatever nitwit that's stuck there with them and having them interview this person and listen to that for an hour. It's like torture. So I'm not going to do it. That's why I went to X. I was like searching around for a short video. I'm like, just give me find me a Dom like clip, you know? And yeah, so I ended up I couldn't find anything on X. Luckily, Dom gave me the clip for today. So
Fixer comes in, he thinks that's why Nick Aldis wouldn't say the name of LA Knight's opponents. He thinks it's going to be Joe Henry. I'm down for that. I'm down for that. I enjoyed Joe Henry's cameo at WrestleMania. He's apparently been a big star. He was in the Royal Rumble at one point as well. He's got the look. He apparently has some real wrestling ability in there. I think LA Knight and Joe Henry would have a really cool match.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it could be Gunther.
Gunther!
Would we get LA Knight and Gunther back on SmackDown on the same week?
It'd be awesome. If it was the same week, I'd have to change the grade to 2 thumbs up.
Right?
It would be
We'd
nice
have to give it 7 thumbs up
if one of those guys came back to SmackDown. Just one of them. LA Knight. Is he injured? No, he's fine. He's just on Raw.
Losing to people a lot.
And then what about Gunther? Is he injured?
Gunther had a real injury that he had to get taken care of.
Okay. Gotcha.
But when he comes back, they wonder if they'll send him back to Raw. I mean, is he going to go back into the World Heavyweight Championship picture now that it's I mean, they had Seth Rollins, now CM Punk, which was the safe bet to put it on in Seth Rollins' injury absence. But it looks like they're grooming Braun Breaker for something, perhaps bringing back Brock Lesnar. So, I mean, Jey Uso's still hanging around. Maybe it's time to get maybe LA Knight back over to SmackDown. Maybe Gunther as well. Does Gunther chase Cody Rhodes' version of the world title, the
Yeah.
Universal title? Does LA Knight get back into a title picture since his move over to Raw to feud with the Vision didn't do much for LA Knight? I don't know how
No.
much it did for the Vision either, but it didn't do much for LA Knight.
Dom, I'm gonna step away here for a couple minutes. Are you okay holding the show down?
If it's only going to be a few minutes, I mean, should I tell people about why I have 3.5 wisdom teeth?
First of all, yes, I'm gonna listen to that in the background.
Okay.
Second of all, I wanted to ask you a question, and
Great.
maybe you can tell me a long-winded answer is what I'm looking for.
Okay. Do I have to bring up the Dom yells at Cloud for this?
We'll have to see.
Okay.
What do you think of the Vision so far? What do you think of this stable? I know we don't see them a lot, but you know, I do have to say, like, a top tier stable that I think I've seen in a very long time was Roman Reigns, the Usos, Solo Sikoa,
Sami Zayn.
and Sami Zayn and Paul Heyman. The
Yep.
bloodline. That was like the top, right? But it feels now like is the Vision in the same category? Are they headed in the right direction? Are they working together as a team? Go ahead, spout out. Let me know what you think.
It sounds like they were on almost bloodline level until Seth Rollins got hurt. Because Paul Heyman was there, and because they had other guys behind Seth Rollins who were being groomed to be future stars. One thing Roman Reigns has said about his stint as the tribal chief running the bloodline was that it wasn't just supposed to be about him. It was supposed to be about elevating the other guys around him. And it worked. Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso had a couple of world title runs. Jimmy Uso got some run as a singles wrestler, not to the heights that Jey did. Sami Zayn had some real newfound legitimacy to his wrestling career. Not only as the tag team wrestlers main eventing the Saturday of that WrestleMania in 2023, but later as a singles wrestler. Solo Sikoa, he was elevated as a very green wrestler from a WWE standpoint. He was there for barely more than a year when the bloodline fell apart. Not even, maybe. And Solo Sikoa has been great. So if you talk about the bloodline as being able to elevate other people other than the main guy it started with, I think the Vision could have done that. I think another comparison is Judgment Day. Edge started Judgment Day with Finn Balor, and that has become a tremendous stable. It launched Damian Priest, who became a world champion. It launched Rhea Ripley, who by the time her career is over, she might be on the Mount Rushmore of women's wrestlers. It has been able to launch Dominic Mysterio. So if you're talking about a faction that has a star, but also doesn't have just lackeys behind him, I think the Vision had that potential. It's always going to be a big what if because of Seth Rollins' injury. What I could tell you is that the Vision were not being booked like Imperium, for instance, where Gunther was the star, but Kaiser and Vinci were lackeys. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed were not lackeys. So I think this had a lot of potential. I think the fact that they are so high on Braun Breaker anyway, this may be an excellent pivot for the Vision, now just running behind Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul has apparently joined them.
That's interesting.
Austin Theory might. There were rumors that they were thinking of something for Austin Theory to do, and that he might go join the Vision. They've been floated a reunion between Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. So does Brock Lesnar join just as an auxiliary for War Games if they still want to have the Vision in that? So the Vision, it's too early to tell if it has the longevity of the Bloodline, but I think they were booking it similarly to the Bloodline, where it wasn't just star and lackeys.
Yeah. Well, they just had Brock Lesnar pound John Cena.
Yes.
So they got to do something with him, right? He just went away.
Yeah, like there's no reason you would bring Brock Lesnar onto John Cena's retirement tour and have him just squash John Cena.
Yeah.
John Cena, who beat Cody Rhodes for the title, who beat CM Punk, Randy Orton, who beat R-Truth, who beat Logan Paul, who beat AJ Styles on this retirement tour. You don't have him get dismantled by Brock Lesnar. Just have Brock Lesnar do nothing. So I think Brock Lesnar is going to feature in the run-up to WrestleMania, maybe even earlier than that.
I would have said it would have made more sense because if unless Lesnar does something crazy, which he should do, right? It would have made more sense to just have AJ Styles knock off John Cena in that great match that they had, and then have Cena beat Lesnar.
Yeah, if Cena was really going to go out just destroying people, then yes, it could have made sense. Now they did well with the Cena AJ Styles decision, because AJ Styles, he and Dragon Lee are tag team champs over on Raw. So AJ Styles is getting a good retirement run here as well.
Yeah.
He's got tag team gold. I don't know if there's room for him in the singles championship picture, but he's doing great matches, and he's got tag team belt.
Who's he have a tag team belt with?
Dragon Lee.
Oh.
They knocked off Judgment Day. They knocked off Finn Balor and JD McDonough.
Oh, interesting. He's not even real. Oh, maybe they gave him a tag belt because he never had it before.
I wonder if AJ Styles ever had a tag belt. Maybe this is the first tag team reign with him.
I've never seen him in a tag match that wasn't a... Oh, well, only time I've seen him in a tag match is when he was with the Good Brothers, and there was 3 of them to do 3 on 3, but never like a tag. Like he never had a tag partner and was doing the tag scene. So
he was never part of a regular tag team. Yeah.
So maybe he thought, hey, I haven't done it yet, and it'll be easier for him from a workload perspective. We have a bunch of comments here too.
Brock Lesnar is on hiatus. Could be a while before he returns at WrestleMania. They have featured him on some of the WrestleMania promotional material that they have been floating this week. So that's there. They're already planning him for WrestleMania. If we know anything about a WrestleMania build, it has to be done well. He's got to be there for a few months before WrestleMania. The question is whether he shows up before the end of the calendar year. Does he make an appearance on Raw at all? SmackDown? Is he going to be part of Survivor Series? Saturday night's main event is probably not a good place for him to be, just because we already know the main event. It's all about John Cena's last match. But if not by the end of this year, then in January they have to start the WrestleMania build. And if Brock Lesnar is going to feature prominently, they've got to get him back on TV. They've got to get him maybe in other premium live events before then. They've got to get him doing something.
A couple other ones that are good. The Vision.
Jay's entrance hype is bigger than his in-ring ability. Well, and that may not even be a knock to his in-ring ability, because he's one of the most over performers that they have.
Yeah.
He is one of the most over baby faces that they have. The whole yeet thing, which I still don't totally understand what a yeet is. I know jeet is Southern for did you eat. They just kind of cram all the words together, and did you eat yet becomes jeet. So originally I thought he was saying jeet, like did you eat yet? But it's not. It's just yeet. Folks, yeet and jeet are different. Do not get them confused.
Okay, yeet is a slang term that with two main uses as an interjection of excitement, surprise, or triumph, like yeet, and
Okay.
as a verb meaning to throw something with force and enthusiasm.
Okay.
It is often used when performing an action, like throwing an object, to emphasize the energy of the movement.
Okay. I could see that.
We could say, "We
Hey, it
won the
works.
game." Yeet.
There are throws in pro wrestling,
Yeah.
right? Hip tosses, suplexes, release suplexes, all sorts of stuff.
I saw the one sentence says, "We won the game." Yeet. So maybe that's why it's like yeet, yeet, yeet. That's why people are excited. Like, yes, yes.
Okay. I would still rather have somebody ask me if I've eaten yet. Jeet. I want a pro wrestler to come out and be the Jeet guy.
That's not a bad gimmick.
I want Hillbilly Jim to come back and ask people, Jeet?
What's with this yeet? Why you asking me why I ate?
Yeah, right? Of course I ain't yet. I've been through catering like everybody else here. So, very good. So, anyway, a couple of Christmases ago, got to back up a little bit from there. So, I'd been going to a dentist, and the dentist thought they were going to fill a cavity in one of my wisdom teeth. And upon x-raying and then poking around back there, discovered it wasn't really a traditional cavity. It was that the tooth was disintegrating from the inside, so it was like hollowing out. And so the dentist suggested that I go to some oral surgeon that she referred me to and just have the whole tooth removed and everything. And I was like, that sounds like a hassle, just making the appointment and even getting out there to the town where this guy is. That sounds like a big old hassle. So I didn't do anything. And it kind of stayed that way for months and months and months, almost maybe a year. And so a couple of days before Christmas 2023, I think it was. Yeah, so maybe it's more than a year ago now. Maybe it's 2 years. Yeah, that's what it was. It was a couple of years ago. A couple of days before Christmas, I had just popped a frozen pizza into the oven. And you make the frozen pizza, it's the Supreme, it's the Rising Crust Supreme. It's got everything on it. It's like 2 pounds plus of food. And so when you make that in the oven with I put it in the big pan there that you put it in, and it makes the crust kind of crunchy. So I'm eating the pizza and I'm crunching on the crust, and I just feel something in the back of my mouth, right side upper jaw, where this resorption tooth was. And it didn't hurt or anything, but I just noticed that felt like a different kind of crunch. And so I'm picking little fragments of molar out of my mouth because the part of the molar that had been deteriorating from the inside had basically shattered and imploded. Now, the rest of the tooth is still there. So I've got 3.5 wisdom teeth. Half of the upper right wisdom tooth disintegrated, imploded, shattered, is no more. But the rest of the tooth is there. It's kind of like a weird angle. It's a diagonal or whatever, kind of a jagged little edge.
Yeah.
So I've got 3.5 wisdom teeth. I still have not been to a dentist for it because it doesn't hurt. And what's the big deal? Who says you got to have all 4 wisdom teeth? Who says you need to have a whole number of wisdom teeth?
Well,
I'm a math guy. What's wrong with fractions? You tell me where I have to have an integer number of teeth in my mouth.
Well, here's the thing. They would just remove it. So if it doesn't hurt, then why remove it?
Yeah.
And it's just in the back. Nobody will ever see it.
It's in the back. If it were in the front, it could be more of a conversation piece. Because now people just gotta kind of gotta take my word for it that I got like half a wisdom tooth way in the back there.
Right.
Now I don't know if I've lost any wisdom since I have lost part of a wisdom tooth.
The Fixer has a observation. Dom, you should
Okay.
probably get that sorted before it gets infected.
No, it healed over. It's the tooth itself, that is above the gum, just disintegrated and just imploded. And I got little fragments of like tooth shell. But I mean, underneath it, it's just, just gum. And for the part of the tooth that's still attached to the jawbone, there's roots underneath the gum. But I mean, it's not like it's there's like an open wound in my mouth or something. The tooth just shattered, partially shattered. I appreciate your concern, Fixer.
I mean, here's what's probably going to happen. Ready? It's going to stay there for a while, and then soon, at one point, you'll have to get it removed.
Or I continue to do nothing. And I just stay with 3.5 wisdom teeth. Fixer saying he's had all of his wisdom teeth pulled because they caused so much pain that they had to come out. I am fortunate. My wisdom teeth never caused me any pain problems. Nor were they weirdly impacted, where they start growing in crooked.
Mm-hmm.
Now my bite is not exact. I will see here. I don't really have the proper overlap of my top row of teeth onto the bottom. They're almost right on top of each other. So I don't have the exact, how they drew it up in the blueprints, smile there, or teeth alignment. But I mean, my mouth does what it's supposed to do. My teeth chew food. They allow me to form words as we humans can do with our fine motor skills. So it doesn't bother me pronouncing any words. So my teeth do what they're supposed to do. I pronounce my words fairly well. I think I'm probably an above average public speaker. So I think I'm doing well. I still pop a frozen pizza into the oven every now and then. Rising Crust Supreme. Yes, I eat the whole thing. Every pizza is a personal pizza if you believe.
If you believe. I love it.
There you go.
Dom.
There are no leftovers when I pop a frozen pizza in the oven. The Italian goodbye is goodbye to the whole pizza in my tummy.
Dom, I must say, that's a great story and a great way to end the show. Fixer, thank you for all the comments. Much appreciated as always. We had some other people on YouTube. We had one person on Twitch. Moving forward, hopefully, I might start to get some other streaming platforms involved here, but YouTube is the home base. So if you're at Twitch now, please come check out the YouTube channel. And I got one more before we're leaving. We're Italian goodbye. The first of my
wisdom tooth. Oh, so it was impacted in a sense that it was growing crooked and was cutting into the inside of the gum. Okay, that's a reason to get it pulled. I had other teeth extracted when I was younger, so I think there was by default enough room on my jaw for the wisdom teeth to come in. So when I got older, my wisdom teeth wound up not being a problem for me. And even now, losing half of one is not that big of a problem. It's a story to tell.
If you're looking up the Italian goodbye in the dictionary, you just saw it, folks.
Yes.
We're saying goodbye. Comment comes in. It's about this topic.
Of course.
Oh, and then you're like, oh, that would make sense about an old topic we're talking about. Okay, yeah. Okay. That's the Italian goodbye.
There you go.
So without further ado, thank you all so much for joining. and have a great rest of your evening.